Seems to be when you want something so much, all you know is that you want it, and you don't know much more. Even if you know certain ways of getting it, you try them, they've something there. It's hard to pinpoint. It's you don't get along. So anyway, 10 years goes by and he just makes your life miserable. Of course, you're making his life miserable. So anyway, you and this guy go on for about 10 years. 10 years go by. And it's like, it's not that you don't get along, it's just, there's something there. It's hard to pinpoint. It's you don't get along. So anyway, 10 years goes by and he just makes your life miserable. Of course, you're making his life miserable, but you don't see it that way because you're you and he's him. But the point is, we're just going to say, let's just say right is on your side, even though, you know, whatever right is and whatever side you happen to be on. And one day he gets to the point where he just wants to kind of back off. He wants to make friends. He wants to make up for it. It's 10 years later though. And there are things that have gone on and come between you, and it's like, it's unmentionable, some of the things. But the point is, so, all right, maybe we ought to just sign a truce here. It's like, you say no. He says, well, you should have a better heart than that. Now it's on your side. I'm willing to make up for this time that has been spent. Say, let's just come on. We'll just be friends. And you just go ahead and do the things that I asked you to do before, but we'll be friendly about it. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's like you say no, and now you're the hard nose instead of him. And I feel like, maybe it would be better if we understand that it's important that there are people out there that are not like us. They have hurt us, and we should be grateful that now we know who they are, which is much more important than going out there, after years of all this happening and trying to change them to make them into what you think they should be. Actually, you should be grateful that now they're recognizable. So, what is a bluff? Not to do with the mountain. Seems to be when you want something so much, all you know is that you want it, and you don't know much more. Even if you know certain ways of getting it, you try them, they fail. Sometimes they succeed. But you're bluffing when all you're doing is wanting. It's like winning an election. Whatever gave you the idea you could. Or winning a race against somebody you know just as physically superior. Where is the bluff? Is the bluff in actually running the race against them? No. It's in talking to them. It's like in going to them and trying to intimidate them, maybe. Because all you want is to be the one that beat them. And maybe winning by default is fine with you. Bluffing is wanting. And that's all. And the more you want something, the more you bluff about it. The more you lie, if that term is applicable, or that word is applicable. Because the only thing you know is the wanting. That's when you know you're bluffing. You know it. Others don't know it. Because you're clever. And you can always lace your bluff with, fragments of ideas concerning whatever, which are intended to keep somebody's mind off of the fact that you really just want that. It's like saying, somebody may say, well, why do you want to beat me at this race? Or why do you want this thing that you want so much? You can lace it with, because it's right. I'm right. I have experience. It's always been that way. You're different, but you're wrong. I am the one that should be known for being the winner in this cause. Well, they're not reading your mind, they're reading your mouth. Your mouth will keep them, your mouth is a firewall for your mind. And it keeps people away from parts of your thoughts, or part of your mind where your thoughts would tell them that really all you want is this thing, and either they have it or they want it too. So, what is a bluff? A bluff is wanting and nothing more. All right, so a vagrant, homeless person's on the street and walks up to a businessman. It's like New York, busy street, major street, like Fifth Avenue. I don't know. Well, I guess maybe not there, but somewhere. Walks up to the guy and he says, "Bud," because they say that a lot. Can you spare me something, some money for food? And the businessman says, "Give you money." I've thought a lot about that. It's kind of funny that somebody like you should approach me now, because I've been thinking about that, what I would do or say. And something, I think it's time that you people understand something, that once and for all, others work for a living. What about you? You know what? I don't owe you anything. I'm not going to give you anything. So the homeless person says, "All right, well, I'm going to give you something then, because I don't feel your way. I think people should help each other." And the businessman says, "So what can you do for me? I mean, look at you. I mean, you're in rags. I mean, they got this overcoat on. It's got holes. I kind of think maybe you even smell. You need a shave. Here's the shovel. You can't do nothing for me." And the homeless person says, "I'm going to give you something." And the businessman says, I'll play along. What? And the homeless person says, "I'm not going to rob you. I asked you nicely. You're not going to give me anything. I'm just going to go away. And I want you to know something. I'm giving you something that a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but more than some people maybe even understand, don't receive from others, because they do get robbed, and they get robbed by people that have more money than I. But I'm not going to rob you, and I'm going to give you that I'm not going to rob you. I have just given you something because I'm honest, and I only asked. I'm not going to get violent about it or anything else, but you know what? It's all right. I want you to have it." And the businessman just says, "What? I mean, not giving me anything. I mean, just because you're doing what's right doesn't mean that you should get rewarded for it. When people do what's right, they did what's right, and that's it. If you go above and beyond, maybe you get a reward." And the homeless person says, "No, that's not true. You want to know why?" And he goes like this. And there's a gun. And he says, "You know what? Go." And then the businessman called the police, and they found the homeless person. They took his gun, threw him in jail. And I don't know whatever became of him. But I guess the businessman just didn't want his gift.